How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After Our Soul review video for today. For this new aka After Our Soul review video for today, this is going to be my review on a film that was released last year in 2021, which this movie was released back in November of last year in the UK, while this was released back in September of last year in the US. And I had nothing really else planned for today, but I decided I should get this review over and done with, so... Anyway, let's get into this review. So today's review is going to be my review on the 2021 neo-western drama film, and that movie is Cry Macho. Now, this is a new film by Clint Eastwood, who, of course, directed this film and produced this film, and he's, of course, the star of the film, which we follow his character, which his name is Mike, who he's his older rodeo star, and he's been sent on a job by his employer, named Howard, played by Dwight Yoakam, which basically he is sent to go to Mexico City to find Howard's son, which he is lost in Mexico City. And while we see Mike and Raphael go on the way back to the U.S., Mike starts to basically help Raphael to basically help him learn the true meaning of becoming a good man, because he has this rooster who he names him Macho, and Macho means, of course, being really strong and stuff. So we see that happening while we see them traveling on the way back to the USA. So that's pretty much the story of Cry Macho. Now, when it comes to Clint Eastwood as an actor, I can tend to agree with everyone that he's a legendary actor. He's one of my favorite legendary actors of all time. And I was first introduced to him as an actor from my grandfather, because he has seen his iconic roles he's done for Western films, because he likes Western films. And I still haven't seen the Man with No Name trilogy, but he is, of course, well known for those movies. But I have seen a few of his other acting roles in movies he's done as director, say Unforgiven, Million Dollar Baby, and Gran Torino. Which in both Unforgiven and Million Dollar Baby, he was fantastic in those films, and for Gran Torino, he was great in that film too. And for him as a filmmaker, I can say that he is definitely one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, next to other filmmakers who I absolutely adore so much. For his most iconic films he's made, Unforgiven, Mystic River, Million Dollar Baby, and all that, I consider those films as masterpieces. And Gran Torino, I consider being a great film. Sully as well, I really enjoy too. And while for his most recent films, they kind of been pretty much divisive about critics and audiences, say J. Edgar, which I thought that was a decent film. The Mule, which I did see that in the cinemas, and I really enjoyed, although it's not a great film. I just thought that was a good movie. 1517 to Paris, I can probably say it's probably his worst film, but I wouldn't say it's a really bad film. It's just not a great film. And his last film, Richard Jewell, which I did see that in the cinemas, I thought that was great, although it's not his best film or anything, since either Unforgiven or Million Dollar Baby, which those are my top favorites, as well as with Mystic River too. And so when it came to this new film, I didn't even know what this one was going to be like, even though for having Clint Eastwood as the star, for Clint Eastwood being the star of this movie, as well as being the director of this film, I was still gonna give this movie a shot though, since I'm a huge fan of Clint Eastwood. And so this movie was released last year in November in the UK, while this was released back in September of last year in the US. And so I saw this last year in November, and it was pretty quiet as well, because it was pretty much of a cold day really. But after watching this film, I would say that this film is definitely not one of his best films. Is this a bad film? Absolutely not. This one, I'd say, is just a fine, decent Clint Eastwood film here. While the things I did like in Cry Macho were the acting, Clint Eastwood, I thought he gave a good, strong performance in this movie. And as for everyone else, I thought they all gave good, strong performances in this movie too. And the direction by Eastwood himself looks pretty nice for the location shoot of the film, since it's set in the USA and Mexico City. And I also liked what he also captured on screen for the sets, the costumes, the lighting, and everything like that. And it looks pretty nice for every single scenery in this film. And the music score in this film, I liked as well. It fit quite well for this movie, since this movie is a neo-western drama film. That's the praise I can say for this film. The issues I do have with this film are its script, which the script for this film I kind of found the script pretty much being weak for this film. It's mostly due to the chemistry between Clint Eastwood's character and this young man in this film when they travel back to the USA, which I kind of found their chemistry in this film pretty much being really weak and not really that strong in this film. And there were some scenes in the film that did kind of feel a bit awkward and kind of unhurried at the same time, which that was pretty much being distracting for me. It's mostly just the tone for this film, because the tone for this film kind of shifts around really, which that was another distraction I had with this film. And since this movie is called Cry Macho, for the title of this film, for the word macho, it means about being strong, and that's the name. And for that word macho, it's actually the name of the rooster in the film, which I didn't even notice that, because once I saw the posters for this film, I thought the word macho was going to be for a name for a horse or something. I thought it was going to be like that, but no, it's for a rooster, which I kind of found a bit odd. But I guess that's what it is, because I guess what this movie is like, because again, this movie is based off the book, which again, I've never read the book, so I went in with a fresh open mind, because I was expecting just another Clint Eastwood Western drama that he's done before in the past. But this is obviously not like the next Unforgiven or anything, because it's nowhere near as good as that. But in the end, guys, Cry Macho, like I said, it was a decent Clint Eastwood film. It's definitely not his worst or anything, and it's definitely not his best. This one, like I said, I can just consider this one being just a fine, decent watch myself. Again, there are some things to really appreciate in this film. It has good performances. It's a really nice looking film, and the music as well. It fits quite well for this kind of film. But for its script, the tone, and some of the problems this film had, it kind of nearly ruined this film to the ground really. But if you're a fan of like Clint Eastwood Western films, or any particular Western movies in general really, or you're a fan of Clint Eastwood as either an actor or director, this one could be a good cup of tea. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Cry Macho, other than this was just a fine watch here. I'm going to give Cry Macho 3 out of 5. As I said before, this is definitely not a bad Clint Eastwood film, and it's definitely not one of his best as well. This one, like I said, was just a fine, decent film here. And if I would have to watch this again, I would just only have to watch it just once. I wouldn't watch this movie over and over again, because for me personally, it was just a one-time watch here for myself. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my AK After I Saw review on Cry Macho, and let me know what you think of this movie. You have seen this already. If you just recently checked out this film for the first time, did you personally enjoy this, or was this not really a cup of tea? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcons Media Corner signing off.